I've done a few videos explaining the association of our immune system with the current pandemic. So I spoke about vitamin C in many of my videos, and I also compared the advantages of vitamin C over drugs and vaccines, because I've mentioned it very clearly that vitamin C offers many more benefits compared to drugs and vaccines, and absolutely safe, cheap, and very effective. Because my emphasis has always been the same: don't pay a lot of attention to the disease process per se, unless it's an acute complication where supportive treatment becomes necessary. Don't avoid the supportive treatment, but you must still address the underlying cause. So in ARDS that you see in COVID-19, the acute respiratory distress syndrome, the problem is not the virus itself. The problem is an overreaction of your immune system to the virus. So this can happen if your immune system has been either weakened, or it has become dysfunctional. So at all times, it is the immune system that you have to pay attention to. Pay serious attention to your immune system. So we spoke about vitamin C. Now we will talk about another powerful antioxidant and immune booster today. That is glutathione. Now this molecule is very interesting because evolutionarily it seems that this is the first antioxidant that the cells evolved with. Because when photosynthesis was used by living cells, now whenever oxygen is used, we know that it creates free radicals. When you eat food and you burn it for your energy, that is ATP, you also form free radicals. These are carbohydrates, not so much about fats. So when oxygen was available in the atmosphere, when cellular breathing happened with oxygen photosynthesis, there was free radicals formation within the cell. So the protection was an antioxidant within the cell, intracellular antioxidant. So the first intracellular antioxidant that evolved seems to be glutathione. So this is evolution. So when life evolved, photosynthesis came into play, you needed an antioxidant system that worked within the cell. Of course, it works outside the cell as well. So what does glutathione do? Glutathione, like vitamin C, is a powerful intracellular antioxidant. It is so powerful that it is rightly named as the master antioxidant. Now remember, a powerful intracellular antioxidant is very vital for living, for health. Because most of what happens in a cell that keeps us alive happens within the cell. The very fact that you form energy molecule ATP that keeps the functions of cells and organisms going on and on happens within the cell from the mitochondria. So the primary role of glutathione was to protect mitochondria, because that is where oxygen is used for energy purposes, food is burned to create ATP. So during this process, a lot of free radicals are formed, and we now know that mitochondrial dysfunction due to wrong type of food or too much of free radical damage leads to many of the chronic degenerative diseases, including cancers and suppressed or weakened immune system or dysfunctional immune system. Because if you understand what happens within your body 24/7, the organs that function 24/7, like your immune system, like the lungs, the liver, the kidneys and the brain, they require a lot of energy, and that energy is ATP. So when mitochondria becomes dysfunctional, then you have less energy. Actually, this cellular energy is very vital even for your body to organize itself, cells to organize itself. So they organize themselves, they perform different functions. Everything depends on energy molecule, ATP. So having an intracellular antioxidant that protects the mitochondria as well as it protects your blueprint, your genetic blueprint, your DNA, and every other organelle within that cell is protected from free radical damage by glutathione. So this is the first function. Now glutathione, like vitamin C, is also a very strong immune booster. Now the first line of defense, we will discuss this more in detail in the next lecture on vitamin D. Now first line of defense against invading pathogens are your macrophages, and they perform phagocytic function. They engulf the foreign pathogens and they destroy them. So as far as immune boosting effect of glutathione is concerned, they increase the phagocytes, they increase the number of lymphocytes and their function, then they also increase the number of dendritic cells. Now this and these are your first line of defense. Your lymphocytes produce your antibodies. So if you want the first line of defense, then you should have very strong innate immune system that consists of macrophages, your dendritic cells, your natural killer cells, your leukocytes, and then the body, if it is required, the body will also rope in your adaptive immune system, which consists of your B cells and your T lymphocytes that work by producing antibodies and cytokine. So what happens in ARDS is actually this. There is an overwhelming cytokine production. So that causes acute inflammatory damage, free radical production. So that is actually a friendly fire with collateral damage, as I mentioned in my previous video. So this happens again, let me repeat, in a weakened immune system or a dysfunctional immune system. So glutathione performs a very important function by boosting the immune system. Now glutathione is also a very powerful detoxifying agent. It is highly concentrated in the liver and it is very important to detoxify and eliminate drugs and various types of toxins. So if you are low in glutathione, your antioxidant system is going to be weak, your immune system is going to be weak, and you are going to be a poor detoxifier, accumulating toxins. When toxins accumulate in the body, of course, every cellular function gets affected. Now, this is what commonly spoken about glutathione, but glutathione does another beautiful function that is to do with an antioxidant system which is within the cell. It is called NRF2. Now, NRF2 is kept within the cell in an inactive form by a protein called KIAP protein. What does glutathione does is it inhibits the KIAP so that the NRF2 is relocated into the cytoplasm of the cell. So what does NRF2 does? It is responsible for activating your antioxidant system, but it is so powerful that it also is responsible for activating many of the cytoprotective genes. So this again is what has been given to us by nature. Yes, we evolved with these antioxidant systems. So glutathione, once it activates NRF2, then NRF2 activates other intracellular antioxidant systems. And two of the very important ones are SOD, it is superoxide dismutase. What does it do? Now, one of the most dangerous free radical is superoxide anion, and it is written this way, O2 negative side. So superoxide antioxidant being a very nasty free radical, the body would definitely want to neutralize. So SOD neutralizes superoxide anion and it converts it into hydrogen peroxide. So this to hydrogen peroxide. NRF2 activates also another antioxidant system, catalase, that catalyzes or neutralizes hydrogen peroxide and converts it into oxygen and water. So you have a master antioxidant performing its own function. The master antioxidant also activates an antioxidant system that in turn activates other antioxidants like superoxide dismutase, eliminating the damage caused by superoxide anion, that converts superoxide anion to hydrogen peroxide, and hydrogen peroxide is again neutralized by catalase into oxygen and water. So this is how your intracellular antioxidant system functions. Now the beauty of glutathione is also lies in the fact that it is able to recycle vitamin C and vitamin E. Once vitamin C is used, then it becomes oxidized to dihydroascorbic acid, DHA. Now the body has the ability to recycle vitamin C, DHA into ascorbic acid. So glutathione recycles vitamin C so that it lasts in your body for longer and it does its functions the way it should. And it also recycles vitamin E. The beauty of vitamin C is it's very mutual. Glutathione recycles vitamin C in turn helps to recycle glutathione. So the oxidized glutathione can be recycled in the body. Yeah, and that needs a mineral called selenium. And remember, most of us are deficient in essential minerals like magnesium, zinc and selenium. We will cover this in the next lectures. So glutathione has been found to be associated, the deficiency of glutathione has been found to be associated with many of the chronic degenerative diseases, including autoimmune diseases, diabetes, cancers, and many more. And the glutathione deficiency, because it leads to a weakened immune system, one becomes more prone to infections and any kind of infections. And now what is threatening is the viral infection. So if you want to protect yourself, so you need to optimize your immune system. So we have looked at vitamin C. We are looking at glutathione today. So it is still coming back to your immune system. One more fact is, in any kind of sepsis, there is a severe deficiency of intracellular glutathione. So how do you increase your glutathione? Glutathione is a large molecule made up of 3 amino acids. Now, some of us believe in taking glutathione as such. In my opinion, it is not so effective because it is a large molecule. It will be broken down before it gets absorbed into its amino acids. And these amino acids then have to be transported into the cell where glutathione is made. Glutathione is made intracellularly because the enzymes that are involved in glutathione synthesis are also available only inside the cell, not outside. So it must be made. The better way to increase your glutathione or optimize your glutathione levels is by taking the precursor amino acids. And again, either you take one amino acid, that's the cysteine, or in my opinion, it is better to take all the 3 amino acids, cysteine, glutamine and glycine, in the correct ratio so that you are able to optimize your glutathione levels. And of course, if you have enough selenium, it helps to recycle the oxidized glutathione. So glutathione, if you want to optimize, it's better to take the precursor amino acids and improving your immune system is the way to go if you want to fight against many of the diseases, including infections, especially viral infections. So if you have adequate glutathione levels, this becomes one of your most powerful defense against infections and cancers and many other chronic degenerative diseases. So we'll talk about vitamin D in the next video. In the meantime, sit back and try to digest this information, help to pass around this information to your loved ones and your friends, and stay healthy. Thank you for watching.